What is up, guys? Speed here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be covering two main points in Dota. Recently, the major has gone by. We've seen a few popular heroes, one of them being Doom, and another one being Abaddon, and those are the two main heroes I'm going to focus on because I think Doom is quite good against Abaddon. I recently played this game and have been theory crafting recently that Doom makes a lot of sense against Abaddon. Now, you might question this saying, well, what if Abaddon heals and purges your Infernal Blade or heals someone through Doom? That doesn't make any sense. But the thing is, the strength of Abaddon is sustaining the safe lane, not necessarily pressuring it, however he can, but in general it's to sustain the safe lane and guarantees carry farm. Now, what you're going to learn in this video, more specifically, is how to not care about Abaddon and carry the game as Doom. Right? These are two very important things, because I know a lot of players who are simply picking Abba right now and winning MMR because it is extremely brain dead. It's unbelievably brain dead to play this hero, right? You simply cast your Q and the lane is won. That's it. But with Doom, this is not a problem, right? Because you can adjust with your item build, adjust with your skill build, and ruin games. You'll notice in this game in particular, I was able to mass 700 GPM by the end of the game. Nearly 250 more than anyone else on the enemy team, and the game ended in 26 minutes, even though my mid lane lost. You do not need your side lanes to win. With this strategy, you simply need a little bit of brain power. So the first thing I want to point out is my item build. Now you have to take into consideration this varies from lane to lane. Typically when you're against Abaddon, I recommend you rush a magic stick. Magic stick just makes sense. The hero casts a lot of spells. It's as straightforward as that. But in a lane like this, when I'm against Lycan, you have to take into consideration that I'm going to get denied if I don't buy a Quelling Blade. And for offlaners, especially in the offlane where you won't get harassed out, right? I won't get harassed out in this lane. Quelling Blade is the best item in Dota. I laned against a Doom recently as Pudge, and the only reason I beat a Doom as Pudge was because he didn't buy Quelling Blade, and I mean that. Maybe there's some other reasons, but that was probably the main reason. So you notice here, I still end up getting denied, I believe, on one creep. But overall, I'm able to secure a fairly solid amount of CS, 3 in the first wave, and not only that, completely ignore the early Abba harass, right? He could be a little bit more aggressive on me. I do have a Shaker zoning him out quite a bit. But you notice, because I have Devourer regen, I'm a counter to this hero, right? You simply out-sustain the constant harass he applies. And as a result, I'm playing like this, right? I'm playing as if I cannot harass the lane, but I'm playing also as if he cannot harass me out now. He makes a huge mistake here, but the thing is, you don't have to win your lane. That is the beauty of Doom. You do not have to win lane, right? So take into consideration when going into the lane, what do you need to do to snowball when you're not trying to crush the opponent? You maximize gold. Well, Doom can do exactly that. So in this lane in particular, I'm going to be maxing Devour and eating as many big creeps as possible. You notice I get my level 2 Devour, and I go and eat the Wild Wing. And as a result, I am now a 4 armor hero with a 10 magic stick, because I got it against Abba. You'll always get 10 basically. A Quelling Blade and boots. These are the core items, and now I'm on my way to starting to carry this game. This lane is no longer contestable. With a level 2 Devour, Abba simply cannot harass me out of the lane. So if you've been getting abused by this hero, this is your counter pick. So at this point in the game, you're going to realize I have 4 points in Devour, and you might be questioning that, right? How does this make any sense? But let me put it to you this way. I see a lot of people complaining that their teammates aren't willing to make plays, that, oh, my 2K games, like, this wouldn't even work in my 2K games. My teammates won't even help me. Well, you're in luck. You're in luck, man. You don't have to have teammates with this build. You simply max Devour, and you ignore them for as long as possible. That is the fact. You ignore them for as long as possible, you max Devour, you increase your gold and your HP regen by a significant amount so that you can't die. Right? It's a very straightforward playstyle that involves no teammates, and that is so important because I understand how much you guys complain about your teammates, right? So this completely, absolutely completely changes the game for any offlane player. And now your next question, because I just want to clarify all the other doubts, your next question might be, well, what if my team's getting dominated? Well, typically what's going to happen is your hero is one of the best counter gankers in the game. So if you feel like your team really needs help with your phase boots and drums, which you notice I have here, you can counter gank very effectively, even if you only have 1 point in Q. So here, you notice I die, but if we look at the overall game, I'm level 8.5, and that is the highest in the game, right? Or tied for the highest, I should say. Which means that if I'm rotating in, I'm still going to be able to have a very strong impact with these items, right? I'm not going Midas. That's very important to note, right? Midas is fine on Doom. It's actually quite good, and you can really greed out and go Midas. But personally, I like to go a mix. If I'm going to max Devour, I still want to have the ability to roam around and get value out of my Scorched Earth with this item build, right? I'm playing as if, okay, I want to ignore my teammates with Devourer, but if they really need my help and there's a free Doom kill, I'm not going to pass up a free Doom kill, but I still need to be able to close the gap. So I adjust with my item build, and therefore I can have the farming power of a Midas through maxing Devour, but still have fighting capabilities through my item build. And I really prefer this because maxing out Devour decreases the cooldown, increases the bonus cult, and the regeneration rate, meaning that I'm harder to gank, and not only that, I'm snowballing faster than a Midas would give me. So you notice here, it's 11 minutes in, nearly 12 minutes in. I'm level 9, and I have not helped my team yet. And now you're gonna see, you might think I'm crazy. This makes no sense. I'm the space creator. How could I do this? Well, first off, in this game, you might note that I don't have a hard carry. You know, Necro, technically, he ends up having a ton of GP in this game as well. Nearly beats me. But in general, who cares? Who cares that I'm not helping my team? Who cares? My mid loses. My lanes are doing okay. We're 8 and 9, not terrible, but we're 3k ahead. If we check out the net worth, you notice my Necro's doing well, and where am I? 6,200 gold, 1,000 above a Lycan, one of the fastest farmers in the early game. I'm 1,000 ahead, even though he had an Abba in his lane. That is the power of this hero, right? And it's so straightforward. I've done literally nothing. I've killed no one. Actually, I killed the Abba after he made the mistake, but I've essentially applied no pressure on the map, and yet I'm already getting my team off to a 3k gold lead. Look, mid lost. A favorable matchup. Sorry, Frogman, if you're watching this. But no offense. You lost a favorable matchup, but it's okay. It is perfectly fine, because I'm going to make up for it. How? Not by making crazy plays, and this is why this is so great. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. How great is that? You can win MMR without making any risky plays. Now, of course, at some point in the game, you do have to apply your farm, and that's what we're going to talk about next. You notice here, I'll even TP in to defend my bottom tower. But once again, what is coming out of this? I'm just going to keep farming. No problem. No problem. Now, is this going to guarantee secure you the game? No, but I promise you, the lower MMR you get, sorry if you take this to heart, this hurts your ego, but to be straightforward, and I think this can really help you guys if you look at it like this, if people farm less and less as they go down in MMR, the MMR brackets, this strategy will become more and more effective, period. You notice here I'm even willing to sacrifice farm for my Earthshaker, but because of the skill build, with the maxed Devour into max Scorched Earth, very important, note this down, you max Scorched Earth after your Devourer, so you are able to take stacks. You can take full large camp stacks, and you can take full small camp stacks, and this will allow you to snowball even further. And the name of the game is greed. You should basically play for the first 15 to 20 minutes like you were an alchemist. Now, this is where I'm going to start trying to apply my farm, right? I bought a smoke, right? That is something you can do if you really want to make a play with your phase boots and your Doom, because it is good to look for kills with Doom, right? You kind of want to use this spill off cooldown if possible in the early game. So here we smoke up, we look for the Invoker, and this really hilarious play here. You have to watch this play. This is just funny. I didn't have Scorched Earth, so we nearly lost this kill because I couldn't get on top of him. We get past his stun, and we just wipe him. One good play with this build, and you get a Pugna to buy back. It is this straightforward, guys. When you have Doom, when you get your items, you pick up a smoke, you go Doom someone, and you run at them. And this is how you create space if that is what you want to do. Honestly, you could continue farming. Your hero at level 15 gets an 150 Devour bonus gold talent. You could literally farm until you're 6 slotted, and farm at the pace, potentially, of an alchemist, especially if you go Midas. It is that crazy. It is. And it is really this easy, right? Anyone can do this. You simply buy your Quelling Blade, you get Devour, you max Devour, and you eat big creeps. You can do this. And that's why I want to see everyone trying out this build, because I think this is one of the most foolproof ways to win MMR right now. And I'm not just saying that for views. I'm saying that because I think it can genuinely help you. This strategy, if you are a Doom player or anything close to an offlane player, you can use this, and you will notice how easy it is. Right? Just don't try to do that much. When you get your max Scorched Earth, when you get your Doom and pick up your smoke, then start making plays. Previous to that, you're just devouring creeps. That's all you're doing. So finally, I'm going to go over my main item build and talk about the variations you should use in order to carry your games, because I think it actually does matter a little bit, right? It's not like you just auto-win the game. Alright, I'm not going to lie to you, you don't auto-win if you do this, but you're already on a good pace. But the final thing to cover, besides gameplay mechanics, which unfortunately I can't personally coach you guys through this YouTube video. But the final thing I can cover is item builds. So for Doom, after you go your phase drums, which I recommend you go basically every single game, these items in my opinion are super important because Doom has to close the gap. After that, consider a few things. You can either grow the greedy ganker build, which is phase drums Midas into Shadowblade, or phase drums Shadowblade, right? This variation will allow you to either farm even more or play solely focused on pickoffs, not necessarily about overall map space creation, which you can apply by simply running yourself down lanes and at people like I did with the Invoker, but rather you're going to look for a solo kill on a key target, maybe like an Ember Spirit or an Alchemist or an Invoker. Whatever it is, that build is good for that. And in fact, I have gotten it recently. I'm not looking at that game in particular. I'm looking at more of a run at you build. And the reason I want to go for a run at you build, which is the second variation that I'll be talking about now, is because I felt that the enemy team could beat us if I didn't address the Lycan. Right, now you might say, well, we have an Earthshaker, a Dragonite, sure. But the problem is, he can run at our Necro, he can Percy Necro's Ghost Shroud, he can kill our Avenge very easily, and if he gets on top of the Shaker, it's going to be a hard fight. Basically, I want to make sure that he also can't even run me down. So I go items that counter, in my opinion, the biggest threat. Now after this, or you could say even before my Crimson Shivas, I would want a BKB. This is one item that I highly recommend you try to never skip on Doom. I see people skip it all the time because this hero is naturally very tanky, but I promise you, as a third and fourth item, BKB is almost always the item on Doom. It allows you to stay on top of your Doom target, or just get Doom off in the first place. Alright, and here you'll notice, once again, it's only 18 minutes in, so I'm basically willing to just Doom anyone I see. Did I even need it there? Maybe not. I don't know for sure. He probably would have died anyway. But the thing is, it doesn't matter. We're at 11k. There's a 3 kill difference. 3 kills. That is it. And you might be like, well, your Necro's farming well, and your DK's farming well. DK lost lane, and Necro has had top lane free to himself because I simply used my farm advantage, walked bottom, and ran at people. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. It does work in every MMR bracket, I guarantee you. Playstyles like this that are based around greed naturally work in solo queue, so I recommend you go try it out. Tell me if you lose 500 MMR by the end of the week. I'll be happy to hear and laugh at you. But until then, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like and subscribe. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, but before I leave you, I just want to let you know and remind you that over at gameleap.com we have thousands and thousands of guides made just like this one by top tier pros so that you can learn the game of Dota in depth and gain MMR as fast as possible.